everybody! Today I'm going to be reviewing the last Hunger Games movie, Mockingjay Part 2. I seriously cannot believe that the series is over just because it's been with me throughout all of high school and the beginning of college. Like, I started watching these films when they came out in my freshman year of high school, and now I'm in my freshman year of college. That's just so crazy to me, and I've been with the series even longer than that because I was a hipster and I read the books in 2008. But yeah, this series has been a part of my life for such a long time. It's initially the series that got me into YA fiction, and I've been in YA fiction for a very long time since. So thank you, Hunger Games and Suzanne Collins, for creating such an amazing world and book, and thank you, Francis Lawrence, for creating such amazing movies. And Jennifer Lawrence, and Josh Hutcherson, and Liam Hemsworth, and everybody else a part of these films. So I'm still feeling a lot of feels from last night when I saw the movie. Like, a lot. I seriously feel a gaping chasm in my chest that will not be filled ever. Just because it's over. Okay, this is like not even a review. This is me just like being sad that it's over. But I bet a lot of you are feeling this as well because that movie was amazing. Such a strong and powerful end to this whole entire series, and thank you. Okay, so I saw an advanced screening of this film, and when we were walking in, I'm gonna tell you a little story. So there were like security checking our bags, just in case there were like recording devices or whatnot. And I opened my bag, and the security guy's like, "Really? A book? You bring a book and no snacks?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, what else would I put in my bag? I always carry a book with me." But anyways, okay, review time. So I saw this film in IMAX, and let me tell you, that is definitely an experience. I mean, once you get adjusted to the IMAX screen, those things are ginormous. Like, I was getting double vision for the first like 10 to 20 minutes of this film because I'm like, I don't know where to look, so my eyes try to look everywhere. That's creating double vision, and that was not very nice, especially when they had those really intense close-ups. So just the feelings in this movie that the actors portray at the beginning of the movie is just off the charts. Like, Jennifer Lawrence, girl, you know how to act. Just wow. Plus Josh Hutcherson, he's just fantastic, and they really stole the show in this film. One of the things I found really funny was that even though this is like the fourth film, Gail's still third wheel on everything. Like, even when Candace kissed him at the beginning, I was like, yeah, not gonna happen, dude, not gonna happen. He obviously knew that as well because, you know, PETA is the main bae. I love the jokes in this movie. Like, they have very dry humor, and I love the way that is brought out because everybody laughed in the theater at the perfect, correct times, and that means that the jokes are funny, not awkward or weird. I really enjoyed that. And I was probably very obnoxiously laughing because I was feeling too many feels, so whenever there was a slight joke, I was like, so funny! No, why was I just laughing that obnoxiously? And then the people next to me were probably really annoyed, but you know, it's okay because it's an experience. So the progression of PETA's craziness, like, to kind of sanity in this film was so well acted out. Like, when they were in that huge, like, not arena, in that courtyard, and that black wall of water just comes and attacks them. It's not even water, it's like water that like rips you to shreds or whatever, you know? Oh my god. First of all, that wall of water substance that isn't water freaked me out because if that came at me, I have a big fear of waves and just lots of water. I would flip so many shits, it wouldn't even be funny. I would be running in the opposite direction before you even said go. Oh, no. But then again, you would never find me in that situation, just saying. Unless I'm reading the situation. That would make sense. But PETA almost like bashing Candace's head in. Oh, yeah. Who told him to give him a gun? Just because you empty the clip of bullets does not mean that it cannot be used as a weapon still. Just saying. The pods, oh my gosh, I was so excited to see these pods in the film because when I read them in the books, I was like, oh, these are gonna create chaos, like craziness, and that's exactly what they did. Like, even when you knew that they were gonna go off, I still jumped. Like, I jumped so many times this movie, like out of my seat, because I was not prepared, even though I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't, not at all. And the IMAX did not help, let me tell you, because you actually felt like you were in the film. I'd rather not feel like I'm about to get shot at, even though I'm perfectly safe in a cinema. But gosh, that was the amazing experience of it. It actually put you in the movie. I've always wanted to be in a movie. Okay, so I didn't know how many deaths actually happened in this film until like they were shown, because I knew like the main characters who died, but I didn't know the side characters who died as well, like Boggs. I was like, oh, Boggs, no! I didn't know he died, but it makes sense how he would, and like everybody else is like the main characters, because you know the main characters always live. Almost always live. So I forgot the actress's name, but Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones, she was in this movie for a full scene. Why did they only give her a scene? You have to give her like a good at least 3 scenes. Like I loved seeing her in it. And then we got Natalie Dormer, who is also in Game of Thrones, and I'm like, wow, this is like a Game of Thrones reunion. Oh, it's great. Now where's Jon Snow? Okay, when they brought in the real or not real stuff, like whoever hasn't read the books and just seen the movies won't get the feels that come from that. I'm just saying, because I was feeling a lot of feels throughout this whole entire movie, but the most feels were felt when they're like, real or not real? And I'm like, it's real, it's all real. It's beautifully real. Don't believe it. They did that so well, and I knew they wouldn't take that out in the movie just because they've been doing these movies so accurately to the books, because it's possible because the books aren't really that long, so they can add all those little details into it. And if they left it out, I would have an uproar, and they did it, and they did it so well, and they had exact lines from the book, and it just made me so happy. Oh my gosh, and whenever Pete and Katniss kissed, like when she just planted one on him, and it was just so cute. I'm like, please don't kill her, but then again I was like, oh, it's so cute, but please don't strangle her again, you know? You strangled her once before, don't do it again. But when they kissed, like, it just made me so happy because they're together again, and you know that when they're together they can defeat all odds, even though they still have PTSD from their past situations, but if they're together they can help hide those demons and help conquer those nightmares. I totally ship them. Oh. So when they're down in the sewers, like right when they're like, oh hey, let's go down in the sewers, let's avoid the blocks and the pods, I'm like, no, just go above ground, risk yourselves, because we all know Finnick's fate. Okay, in the books, I didn't really notice Finnick died right away, and like that was the opposite of the movie, let me tell you, because I knew the whole entire time Finnick was going to die, and it made me really sad, like seeing him at his wedding and how happy he is, and then Annie's preggers, and then he gets eaten by lizard monsters. Well, lizard mutts. Oh my gosh, those things were creepy. That was one of those times when I jumped out of my seat. Like when they came on screen, I'm like, that is way creepier than what I thought in my head. Good job, animators of this movie, for creating monsters that will give me nightmares. I think they were actually in my dreams last night, and those dreams are probably nightmares then. But okay, when he gets taken down from the ladder by the lizard monsters, and he's like fighting like a badass before then, and you're like, yeah, he's gonna live, whatever. Like, I knew he wasn't, but I'm like, maybe, for a split second, I'm like, maybe the creators of the film were gonna like just discard the fact that he dies and make him live. They didn't do that. They didn't. They're too faithful to the book. So he died, and then Katniss dropped the like hologram thing, and it exploded, and like she saved him from pain, and that was probably the hardest death in this movie for me, because I knew like that he had a child in the womb, in Annie's womb, and he would never see his child, and that made me so sad. So it definitely reopened some wounds that I thought were closed. They weren't. And another death in this movie that did not hit me as hard as I thought it would was Prim's, because Prim's death like was the opposite of Finnick's, because it was very fast and it was unclear if she died. That was like the opposite of what I thought in the book, because I knew Prim died right away. I did not know Finnick died right away. So they like switched the roles of that, and I'm like, okay, so the people who haven't read the books are probably like, oh yeah, you know, Prim survived, like it's totally fine, like Katniss survived, like Prim's gonna survive. No, she's dead, and it's really sad. But honestly, like, even though it's really sad that Prim died, I felt like it was essential to the book's plot line, just because it was like this plot twist that nobody saw coming. Finnick's death, on the other hand, I felt like was unnecessary, not necessary at all. You did not have to kill off Finnick. Why did you kill off Finnick, Suzanne Collins? Why? So enough horrible things in the world already. So Coin in the film, President Coin. I never liked her. I never liked her in the books. I knew she was a snake from the very start, but when she suggested having another Hunger Games for the capital citizens, children, I'm like, you cray. You are crazy. That's what I forgot about in the books, that I forgot that they had that happen. So when it was in the movie, I was like, oh yeah, oh crap. And I was like, I know what Katniss is gonna do. I know what she's gonna do. So I was like, okay, it's all good. But when Katniss actually aims that bow and arrow at Snow, and Snow's like laughing and being complete like psychomaniac, like she's like thinking, and then she aims it up at Coin and shoots, and it pierces Coin in the heart, and I'm like, yes. no more Hunger Games. And then Snow gets trampled, well, beat up by citizens. Yeah, bad death, but you know, he kind of deserves it, you know. There's so many things I want to talk about in this film, but I'm going to be cutting this shorter just because there's too many things to talk about, but those are like the main things that I really remember because you try to forget some things that happen because they should be forgotten, but they're not. But what I really liked was that they had Tigris in it, and she was so much like I pictured her in the books, and like everything like was spot on to the books. Like that was a creepy part. Like I pictured the books the way that they brought it out on the screen, and I'm like, did they pick my mind when they were setting all the stuff up? Because it's exact. It was creepily exact. But I loved her character. One thing that Teresa and I were talking about recently was that when they were exiting the coat shop that Tigris owned, we were like, why aren't their faces covered? Like they're plastered literally everywhere, all over the Capitol, that they are wanted, and they don't have anything covering their faces except a lousy hood. You can still see them. A hood's not gonna cover up anything. I'm like, slather on some makeup on both of them. It's not like it's out of the ordinary for Capitol citizens to put on makeup. But I thought it was really funny that they didn't do that, and everybody else I guess in the theater did too, because they all laughed. So after everything goes down, and you know, that was intense, and then she goes back home to the Capitol house that she lives in at home on District 12, and she's alone for a while, and then she like screams at Buttercup, and she's like, Prim's dead, and that's when the audience who haven't read the book know that she's dead for sure. And her like just raw reaction towards it was so believable. And if this wasn't a movie and she wasn't an actress, you would think that it was true, the emotions, and that's what made it like the hardest. I totally cried during that time, but then again I cried throughout the whole entire movie. But Buttercup, I'm so happy they had her in the movie. Love Buttercup. But then when Peeta shows up and he's like planting primroses, oh, I was so many feels, guys, so many feels. But that was beautiful. And then they come back together and they're together again, and she hasn't lost all of her family because Peeta's there, even though her mother is like off in the Capitol training people. But like her mother hasn't really been in the movie or the books, so So when they got back together and he's like, you love me, real or not real? It's like, real. I'm like, it was just so beautiful, and it made me so happy, even though my heart was telling me otherwise, that it's not happy. There's still like lots of stuff going down. There's still lots of turmoil within, you know, the characters and within me, you know. Like, I'm just so proud of these characters for just staying alive. Just like after all they've been through, they could have just given up, but they didn't. They pursued and they conquered, and they remain somewhat themselves, even though they do have their demons within them. And just how it was brought out on the screen was so well done, and like it wasn't sugar-coated. This is like the raw emotion people feel when they go through, you know, government overthrow and war and all that. So well done, really well done. But my favorite part of this whole entire movie was the epilogue. I knew that they were gonna have it in it because Jennifer Lawrence actually kind of had that spill at a Comic-Con panel, so I was really happy. I knew that was gonna happen, and their children were so cute, like Peeta playing with their son, and he has like this curly hair, and oh my, they're so blonde. And then Katniss is holding the baby, and she's adorable, and she's like talking to her, she's like, there's worse games to play. I'm like, but I really wish that they had a family shot at the end, like all of them together in the same frame. But otherwise, like, oh, it was so beautiful. And then it was over, then it finished, and then my heart fell out of my chest because I'm like, this is over, it's done, it's done. And it's so sad because like, this has been in my life for 9 years. Oh my god, 9 years? Jeez. That's amazing. And it's sad, but it's always gonna be there. I'm totally gonna marathon all the movies and read all the books again, without a doubt. So was this movie my favorite movie out of the whole entire film saga? I'm still going to say Catching Fire is my favorite film out of all of them, but this is a very close second. They were just so good. Just a round of applause to everybody who's worked on these films. Thank you for creating such an amazing world and adapting it in such a faithful and beautiful way that really was gut-wrenching and made me want to cry for hours in the fetal position on the floor. So thank you. So wow, that is all for the last Hunger Games movie review I'll ever make. Please make a sequel, please. I don't know what it would be about, but please. Oh, this is so sad. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Let me know your thoughts on this movie down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.